Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Good day. Good morning. I'm so happy and excited to share with you this amazing YouTube video as I break down the market for the week and also show you some of the opportunities we managed to catch for this particular week and the previous week as well. So remember, this is the only strategy that you need to master. If you master the strategy that we're presenting to you, there's no way you can't make it in trading this year. There's no way you cannot make it in the forex trading industry this year. So just to take a look at volatility 75 interest, this is actually a trade that we were in yesterday. We actually took a sell trade yesterday. So let me just start from the daily so that you see how we have been looking at the market lately. So I'll just try by all means to make this video short as much as possible, and also make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video with as many people as possible, and make sure you hit the notification bell on so that you don't miss any single video that is going to come in the next upcoming videos. So if ever you want to be part of our Focus Mentorship, we have our WhatsApp number that is in the description below. Feel free to contact us if you want Focus Mentorship concerning the financial markets, because we share focus mentorship based on retail trading strategies and institutional trading strategies. And if you also want to be part of our monthly signals group, you can also join the team as well through that WhatsApp number that is in the description below. You can actually contact us there. So I just want to start from the daily time frame so that I break to you how I took that sell, me and my team in the VIP section, how we managed to take that sell entry that I showed you on 30 minutes. So I'll simply try to remove all the drawings, right? So remember, we are in an overall bearish market. That's the first thing that you are simply concerned about. We are in an overall bearish market, right? We are bearish. As you can see, we are forming lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs like that, lower high, lower low, lower low, right? So we are in an overall bearish market. That is the point number one. So after we saw that, we identify immediate levels of support and resistance, or immediate levels of supply or demand where the market currently is. So the market is currently in this zone, in this region. So I might not need to go all the way to what happened last year or whatever, because the market is currently within this region here. Within this region here, that's where I want to be taking our trade. So I realize that we at this major level of support, broken here. After it was broken, retested. So long we are playing below a resistance, it's now a resistance, it's now a major resistance. So long we are playing below a resistance now, what we now need to identify, what we now need to know is that we need to be taking sell trades below that area. So there are two ways now you can actually start to plot some market structure for your volatility 75 right now. There are two ways, like this one way. This is the immediate market structure that we are currently in right now. So yesterday we actually managed to take a sell. Where was the sell trade that we took? Where was the sell trade? Where was the sell entry? We saw it based on this. You know, the market had reached and tapped into this resistance again. The first time it came to the resistance, we gave a sell. We managed to make money with this sell. Then here again it actually came back into the zone again. So here something. So actually looking from the daily, two possible scenarios are possible right now. It can actually come here, fail to break this low. If it fails to break this low, it's now a double bottom. A double bottom is a reversal pattern. Once you have a reversal pattern, you know that the market is going to go up. It goes up, retest, gives us something like this, top of the downward channel, then drop. If it does like this, it's still in an overall bearish market because it hasn't broken this previous lower high. But if it comes and breaks this previous lower high, once it comes and breaks this lower high, we know that the market momentum is now shifted to the bullish side of things overall in the long term. But so far, if it doesn't break there, we are still in a bearish market structure. So other confirmations and other additional confluences that I'm actually seeing, I can see that this is a fair value gap here. This is a fair value gap or an imbalance. Above it, there's actually an order block as well. So the market can actually try to come and push all the way to reach this zone. before continuing down with our overall sales. So this is actually a structure, a market movement that I'm actually expecting to happen today, tomorrow, this whole week of March. This is what I'm actually expecting to happen on volatility 75 index. So I'm simply using our strategy, our smart confluence trading 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0 strategies, which if ever you are part of our focus mentorship, you're actually aware of what I'm talking about. So this is a strategy that places you on top above the rest of the traders because it covers both institutional and retail trading strategies. So there's no way you can miss out, or there's no way you can be manipulated if ever you are using our strategy that I'm actually presenting to you now. So this is just a brief of the strategy. This is actually a brief of the strategy. This is actually a brief of the strategy. This is actually a brief of the strategy. So this is what I'm looking forward to. Once the market comes here, I'm expecting for the market to shift all the way to the upside before we continue down. Before we continue down, just like this. So here, the top here, you can actually refine your level. You can actually refine your level to this supply zone there, which is also an order block there. So it can actually push all the way there. This push can happen all the way into that zone. So this is the first case scenario that I'm expecting. Second case scenario is for the market to come there, go up, then play around before going down. That is also another scenario that we can be looking at. But so far, that is the scenario that I'm looking at. So this is another relevant supply zone that is also relevant to the market, which the market can actually push into before either going down or before continuing where it wants to go. But so far, this is what I'm looking at. These are my major zones that I marked. So here at the bottom, we actually also have another demand zone now, another demand zone, which is also an order block that is there at the bottom. The market can actually tap into that before pushing all the way up. So looking to the left, you realize that this first sale we caught it, then this one as well we caught it. Why did we freely to take these sales? Because overall the market is still bearish, and also we had so many confluences that were supporting that trade for us to take it. So right now, just to add on to our analysis, this was a break of structure to the downside. Break of structure. That's a break of structure there to the downside. The break of structure like that. Break of structure. After the break of structure, the market pushed all the way up, broke. Did it break this level? Let's look into that. Did it really break this level? It tried to break and close above that level, but it actually failed to close above this recent previous high. So which someone can actually say most probably the market was too weak to break there. So here what can happen is it can actually come back into this demand or order block in order to push now. The second time it can push and actually succeed to break this high. Once it manages that, it will push all the way to those other levels that I marked at the top. So here at the bottom, this is the level that we're looking forward to buy, which is the demand zone and also this trend line. Demand zone or trend line, that is where, so you will simply wait for the market to come into the zone. Once it comes into that zone, you wait for a rejection. Once the market rejects, that's when you start buying. Once the market rejects, that's when you start buying. Because looking at the internal market structure, you realize that this, according to internal market structure, this is actually a change of character here. One can actually call it a change of character according to internal market structure. One can actually call that a change of character. So going down to 1 hour, I'm simply going down there to show you some of the trades that we took last week, and also the current trade that we are in currently right now, which is actually a sale that we took yesterday. So remember, in the last video I spoke about this. I spoke about the sell. I spoke about the sell that we are in. This is the other confluence as well that we were having. Right. So the other sell that we're in, we took it based on this zone here, right after the break of structure. Remember, after the break of structure, if you're now part of our focus mentorship, you always know that after the break of structure, the market, we expect it to pull back. The pullback, we expect it to come into any extreme level of supply to the top, which was this level. After the market tapped there, we actually started selling. After we started selling, we actually noticed the break of this counter trend line. Then we said add more cells. After adding more cells, we actually had another trend line as well. We actually had another trend line that was to the downside, which was this side, which was also reached. That was also another target that we're looking at before the major target, which was this low. So after entering there on the extreme supply or the order block, the final or major target, we are looking for the market to come and take out the low here. That was the target, right? Major target. But we actually also looked at this first counter trend line. Once it was broken, we scaled in more trades. Then after the market came and tapped here into this trend line, that you can see touch, after it tapped there and failed to continue and failed to break it, that's when we realize, no, let's come out of ourselves, because the market seems to want to push up. So we actually banked our profits there on that zone. First time it came, failed to break. Second time came, then we actually came out of ourselves. Actually came out of ourselves. Then after coming out of ourselves, remember, the overall market structure is still bearish, but us as smart confluence traders, we always have a way of maneuvering out of any situation. So this counter trend line now, touch, this actually also gave us some buy positions, to the upside. The confluence there was that counter trend line and this downward trend line, and also the double bottom structure. The double bottom structure was this double bottom. So double bottom was first confluence, second confluence the bottom trend line, third confluence was the upward trend line. So I had more than 3 confirmations or 3 confluences to that trade. So the target that I was now looking at, first target was this, second target was this high here, of which both of the targets were actually reached. First and second target were actually reached. If you actually check, they were actually reached. Then after they were reached, I realized that the market actually tapped again into our major resistance, which was this zone, right? After we tap again into our major resistance, what I do, I simply wait for a rejection. Once I get the rejection, I will enter, because overall the market structure, to me, it will still be bearish. So I had this counter trend line as well. This counter trend line, I also used it for my wonderful sell entries as well, my wonderful initial sell entries. My second sell entries, I looked at simple levels like this, break and retest of that support, break and retest there. So other levels were just levels of scaling in, other levels were just levels that I was looking that I was using to scale in more trades. So one can ask, where is your target now for the sales that you're currently in? Where am I targeting? Where are my targets now? Where is my target? Right. So if you check the way I marked my zones. So after entering there, my sell, using this counter trend line, break and retest, you could have entered your cells there. If you zoom in, there was also another zone that you could have used to scale in more sellers. Upon its break, you could have used it to scale in more sales. After you scale in, you use the stop loss of that zone to. So right now, as I said, this is a zone that I marked based on a 4-hour time frame. This is a zone that I marked, right? So I'm expecting the market to either come into that zone and give us the push to the upside. If you check, I actually spoke of this internal market structure, change of character. This is a change of character, even though it's an internal change of character, but it is a change of character, meaning after a change of character, the same way after a break of structure, we expect the market to pull back into a significant zone before pushing up, the same way it did here. After a break of structure, push up, then drop. Same here, after change of character, push up, retrace, then push up. Change of character, retrace, then push up. That is what I'm expecting. So I'm expecting to tap here. Once it taps here, then I'll get my buys. So the sells yesterday, we took them first, number one, counter trend line break, here support, break and retest, here support, break and retest as well. So those were so many ways one could have entered. So this trend line as well, one could have also used this counter trend line to also scale in more trades upon the break there. So you could have, so after entering a trade like that, you could have targeted this trend line as well as your first target. Then upon its break, you could have scaled in more sales. So right now, maybe the market can actually give us a pullback. It can pull back into the trend line before maybe continuing back into the major zone that I'm expecting, which is here, or the trend line there to the bottom, before maybe we get a push to the upside. So the push to the upside, how are we going to enter? It's the same way we do our entries. If ever you're part of our focus mentorship, you realize that these things, they're actually predictable. So this counter trend line here, we're going to have a counter trend line to the downside. This is the counter trend line that we're going to use for our entries to the upside. Right, this is the counter trend line that I'm going to use for our entries to the upside. So you realize touch, touch, touch. Once it is touched, once it is broken here, one can actually enter more buys here. Upon the retest here, one can actually enter more buys as well. So that's actually a prediction that we're now looking forward to on volatility 75. But so far we made money. So far we made money. We can say roughly this whole match we made money. We made good money out of the volatility 75. This whole match, I can safely say we actually made good money. If you check where match started, I can actually show you how we made good money. Match started here already. If you're part and following our videos, and also if you ever you're part of our focus mentorship, or if ever you're part of our VIP signals group, you managed to take this first sell, this sell here, which actually happened on one match. You took that, your target, you're looking at this major support zone, which actually it was reached. After it was reached, we always wait for a pullback either into a supply zone or into a fair value gap. Once we have a pullback into a supply zone or a fair value gap, for example here, it actually pulled back into this fair value gap here, or imbalance here. After pulling back into that imbalance, the market actually continued to sell. So you could have also taken more sales there, because the market structure overall it was still bearish. Here as well, one could have taken a beautiful trade using this counter trend line to the upside. One could have actually taken a sell trade as well using this counter trend line upon its break and as well upon its retest. Counter trend line broken, you could have sold, retest, it retested and also touched a supply zone. You could have also entered more sales there upon the touch of the supply zone. So you can see all the trades that we took. So upon entering there, the targets, you either use Fibonacci retracement, you also use trend lines. If you're part of the focus mentorship, you're actually aware of what I'm talking about. So it dropped. We were actually shifting our stop loss lower and lower and lower and lower up until our target was reached. Then we noticed that there actually was a shift to the upside, which we actually also noticed by use of our counter trend line. Counter trend line break. After it was broken, and retested, we entered our buys. Target, we're looking to the levels of supply at the top, any order block at the top, or any major resistance at the top, and any other highs to the left, which I always tell you. So any highs to the left, TP1 was here, right? TP2, TP3 was this major resistance which was reached, right? So after it was reached, I waited for the rejection. After the rejection, I entered my sales, because it was actually a simple break and retest on the daily. It was a simple break and retest on the daily. Or you could have also used this counter trend line and entered in the sell, even though you entered late. So you could have entered there, or waited for the break and retest of this counter trend line. You could have also sold here. So upon selling there, our target, you are looking to the most furthest low, which was this level, which was actually reached. After it was reached, we waited for the break of this counter trend line as well for us to enter buys. So you can see that if ever you know the strategy, our strategy, if ever you have our strategy. You can buy and sell, and buy and sell even in a bearish or bullish market structure, because it actually allows you to do that. Upon the break here, you could have actually started buying your target. You are looking to the top or looking to the highs that are to the left. Looking to the highs that are to the left, TP1 was here, right? TP2 was this supply zone. So TP2, TP1, TP2 was reached. After it was reached, I actually expected sales, which actually happened. So sold there, or upon the break here of this counter trend line, you could have also sold and made money with these sales. So upon touch here, upon giving us a double bottom as well as the break of this counter trend line, you could have bought here. Buying there, you're looking to the left again. The recent high is there. First target, second target is this major resistance. First target and second target were reached. So same thing, counter trend line. After it was broken, we sell. Where is our first target? First target, we're looking to this trend line here, which was actually reached. After it was reached, we are now looking forward to the next zone, which is this demand zone, which is this demand level that is here. So this demand level is our second major target. Once the market comes into this demand or this trend line here, once it comes into those zones and actually rejects, we actually can start buying immediately or upon the break of the counter trend line, which is this trend line. So this is our strategy. This is our strategy. You can never lose with our strategy. You can never lose with our strategy so long you follow the rules that pertain to the strategy. So guys, I hope you have learned something through this video, and I hope you are going to like the video. I hope you have subscribed already so that you don't miss any single video in the next upcoming videos that are going to come. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for staying tuned in up until the end of the video.